The Rules of Love by Richard Templar. Rule 3. You won't be happy with a partner until you can be happy on your own. I knew a woman who was always in a relationship. You know the kind. Maybe you're the same. The moment one relationship ended, another started. I asked her once why this was, and she told me that she didn't like being on her own, so she made sure it never happened. When I got to know her well, she was with a man who was perfectly decent but who just didn't give her the love she deserved. Why did she put up with it? I asked her. She patiently explained that she had no choice, because the alternative was being on her own, and she couldn't cope with that option. In the end, things got really bad, and he left. She braced herself for the breakdown she knew would follow. I saw her a month or so later and asked how she was coping. She told me, fine, at the moment. I thought I would have fallen to pieces by now, but it's obviously taking longer to happen than I expected. I think it was 6 months before it finally dawned on her that she wasn't actually going to break down at all. 3 months later, she met a lovely guy who wanted to get serious and move in together, but she resisted. She was having too much fun being on her own. The point of this story is that she stayed in relationships that weren't good and put up with flack she didn't deserve, out of fear of being on her own. After she knew that she was happy on her own, she set her standards much higher and wouldn't put up with second best. She didn't have to. After all, what was the worst that could happen? Well, she could end up back on her own again, but that wasn't a problem anymore. So the moral of this story is that you need to learn to be happy and secure on your own. That way, you'll never stay in a bad situation for fear of being left alone. If it's not working out, you can simply leave. Far too many people stay in unhappy relationships because they're scared to be alone. Rules players learn to enjoy living alone so that when they do choose to throw in their lot with a new partner, it's for the right reasons. After you've mastered this, you'll only ever live with anyone else because you love them and they make you happy. Being alone is great, but being with them is even better. If that stops being the case, you're free to leave. Far too many people stay in unhappy relationships because they're scared to be alone.